Today, I will be giving my thoughts on girls in this generation today. And when I say this generation, I mean my generation. I'm 19 years old. Girls in this generation, not all of them, most of them, just putting that out there right now. Not all of them, most of them. Girls in this generation are awful. They are fucking awful. Why? Because they are so stuck up. They're so high maintenance. Their expectations for something are so out there. When I say their expectations are so out there, I mean they set such a standard. They set such a high standard for a person where they're not even at that level. And also, they're brainwashed. And I'm going to get to the brainwashing part at the end of this talk. But girls in this generation are awful. Most of them. Most of them. Now, let me tell you a story. I went to the mall, right? I went to the mall a couple of days ago, and I was shopping, doing this and that. You know, you go to the mall to shop, and at the corner of my eye, I see this girl, good looking girl, long natural hair, light skinned, who didn't have makeup on. She was just nothing but raw beauty, raw beauty. She had a figure on her, but what's most important to me was the personality. So I told myself, man, I got to get with that. Like I want to get to know her. You know, when I say I got to get with that, of course, in other words, most men be like, oh, I just want to have sex with her and just get away from her. No, what I mean by that is, in my terms, when I say I wants to get with that, I want I want to be friends with her. Okay, I want to get to know her. I want to be friends with her. I want to build a relationship with her, and then we can see where it leads. That's how it's supposed to be. So we was in the cafeteria of the mall, and I saw her eating her lunch. So I walked up to her and I said, "Excuse me, miss. I don't mean to disturb your lunch, but I noticed you from afar, and I just want to say you are a gorgeous looking woman, but I bet your personality is superior." And she said, "Well, thank you. That's very sweet." And we start talking and talking and talking. And the more I got to talk to her, the more the more I'm starting to think like, okay, she's really into me, and I'm starting to get into her. She seemed like she was a well put together person. So, sidetrack from this. Most phones, an average phone, an average phone today is worth $1,000. Any phone, any cell phone is worth about $1,000. Any phone is worth about $1,000. A Samsung, Apple, Google, Pixel, whatever, they're worth about $1,000 average, right? So we started talking, and then I asked her, let's get to know each other more in a different time. Maybe we can exchange phone numbers. And she said, fine, okay, sure, I would love that. So I pulled out my phone. I had a Samsung. I pulled out my phone. I opened the app to the number to the phone app to the dialing numbers. I hand it to her. Right when she was about to grab the phone, she hesitates and she looked at it in disgust. She said, "Ugh." She said, "I'm sorry." And I said, "What's wrong?" She said, "I don't talk or date guys who doesn't have an iPhone." I said, "What?" She said, "Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't do it anymore. I'm sorry. It's just you're not my type." After the conversation that we just had, we had a good conversation. Looked like it was about to lead to something, but all of a sudden you don't want to talk to me no more, all because I don't have an iPhone. It pissed me off. So I asked her. So I sat there and I asked her. I said, "I'm assuming you got an iPhone, right?" And she said, "Yeah." I said, "Your phone is worth $1,000, right?" And she said, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, my phone is worth $1,000 too. So what's the difference? So what's the difference between my phone and your phone? Okay, we can call, we can text. That's all that matters, right? What's the difference?" And she said, "Well, when I text an Android, I just can't stand that green bubble. I can't stand that green bubble. It just irritates me when I text an Android when I see that green bubble in the messages, and also we can't FaceTime. We have to download an app in order to FaceTime, and I have to use up extra on my storage, and also we can't do iMessage games and da 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 da, and we have to download a separate game app. I have to use up all my storage and da 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 da." And I said, and I literally thought to myself, I said, "Okay, all these excuses that you just said are fixable, and I know what kind of girl you are." I said, "Stop right there. Have a good one." And I walked away. Girls today will not date you. Most of them. Girls today will not date you if you don't have an iPhone. And that is the cold hearted truth. You can ask any man today. You can ask any man today, and they will tell you, yes, that is true. I'm not lying. You can ask any man today. That is the truth. Now, girls will not date you. You have a certain amount of followers on social media. Say what's up to the people.
I'm back, back in action. So what's going on? What movie is this you critiquing?
Well, this is not a movie review. This is me giving my thoughts on girls in this generation.
Jesus Christ. The people in the generation. Jesus Christ. But what about the girls in the generation?
Well, basically, just to sum it all up, most of the girls, they are awful. Straight up awful.
Well, it's where you looking. You gotta find new stomping ground. Gotta find new areas, new places to find a good young lady.
And that is true. And today it's hard. It's hard to find these girls. It's hard to find them. It's hard.
To every young man out there listening, I'm gonna tell you like this: I thought the same thing when I was my son age 18, 19, 20. But what I come to find out is you just ain't applying yourself. If you got game, work the game. If you ain't got game, then you a lame. But you got to apply yourself. You apply yourself, I guarantee you, you'll find a good woman. If you just keep hanging around the same old crowd, same old circumstances, situations, you're gonna find the same old deadbeat girls. And same thing for you girls, same thing for you girls, same thing for you guys. You're gonna find a deadbeat person every time. But if you expand your horizon, start getting different interest levels and stuff like that, business wise and all that, you'll find who you're looking for. You'll find what you need. That being said, I'm out.
Now, everything he said was true, but there is a major difference between his generation and my generation. There is a huge difference. He's 30 years older than me. He was born in the 70s. I was born in the early 2000s. The generations are different. Everything he just said is absolutely true. Is absolutely true. But our generation is totally different, and it's super hard to find the girl that you're looking for. Now back to where was I? Oh, a girl won't date you if you have a certain amount of followers on social media. You won't date me all because of my popularity? That's all you care about? Here's the third thing. This is where the brainwashing part comes in. A girl won't date you if you're not making six figures, you have your own car, you have your own house. Those are three things, especially the six figures. A girl won't date you if you're not making at least six figures, if you don't own a house, or if you don't have a car. If you only have one of those things, she will not date you. She will not. And it's crazy because they set such a high standard that they're not even at that level. Honey, work on yourself first before you ask somebody to work on their self. When I say brainwashed, the music that they listen to. The most popular genre of music today is hip hop. And these rappers nowadays, the rap game is totally different from back then to till today. Most of these rappers talk about most of these rappers they talk about they talk about drugs, sex, money. And of course back in the day they talked about the same thing, but they had more story. Each rapper was different. They had their own style. You can tell the difference between each rapper. Okay, he's different. He's different. He's different. He's different. Okay, he raps a certain way. He raps a certain way. He raps a certain way. Today, these rappers raps the same way. Like today, I was listening to a rap song and I said I can't barely understand what he's saying. And I turned to another rap song and it was a different rapper, but it sounded like the same dude, and he was rapping about the same thing: drugs, sex, and money. And basically, listening to all these songs, I was able to comprehend what they were saying. Basically, how they worked themselves to the top. It's the same story of how they worked themselves to the top. Each rapper, how they worked themselves to the top. But what they telling these girls, what the rap these girls are listening to these rappers. What they are telling these girls that you need a man making six figures who's got their own house and has got their own car. If he ain't got none of that, you don't need him. That's what these rappers are telling these girls today. And it's the truth. It is. This can be fixed. This can most definitely be fixed. What my father just said was was completely true and totally right. You just have to look in the right general area. You just have to move away from a certain group. Stop hanging out with a certain group of people. You need to go to a different stomping ground. Look somewhere else, and eventually you'll find the one that you seek. But in this generation, it's hard. It's so much harder to find that somebody that you want. It's so much harder because most of these girls are awful in this generation. But and where to find these good girls in this generation? It's like as time goes by, the area of where the bad girls are in this generation, the area of where the bad girls are, they're everywhere. They are everywhere. They're everywhere. It's like a big area. They're everywhere. And where the good girls are, it's a small area. You just have to find that small area. You don't know where it is. You may stumble upon it at work. You may stumble upon it at the mall or at a movie theater, or at a little corner gas station store. You never. It's a small place. You never know where. But girls in this generation, most of them are awful. They're flat out awful. Okay. Now you're probably watching this video. You probably think like this is from a dating standpoint, uh, from a dating side of view, and I would say yes, it is. But it's crazy because a man and a woman, you need to work together to keep a relationship whole. But there's certain situations where a woman can't even hold her own, all because she doesn't want to. She just want to give up, all because she just wants to give up. She just want to give up on the relationship. There's no problems at all. She just want to give up, all because of a stupid ass reason. And she just leave. Straight up just leave. Guys in this generation are awful too, but I'm gonna explain that in another video. But girls in this generation are awful from a dating standpoint. They are awful. But in general, girls in this generation, they need guidance, they need a sermon, they need a revelation of what they need to do, or what they need to be. They need to look in that Bible. And they need to learn about themselves. And they need to work on themselves. And then all will be fixed. It will be fixed. It will be fixed. Those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts. I wanted to do this video separately, but my father just intruded in. What he said was absolutely true. If you just look in the right place, you'll find that woman. You'll find that girl the one that you seek. But in this generation, it's hard. It's super duper hard. It is. Those are my thoughts. I'm gonna put it out there. Please share this video. Please share this video. This video needs to be shared. I'm glad I addressed it. I hope I addressed it in a way that you guys can understand. If not, I can address it in a different way in another video. But those are my thoughts on girls in this generation today. Most of them. Most of them. Okay? Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, subscribe, and share. Please share. And I will see you guys next time. God bless.
How many mothers have to cry